Hey folks, this is a man on the street. Now this is going to be about a cautionary tale. When I added up the pieces, it still didn't digest well enough for me in my thought process. But to articulate it, it almost goes back to the last time the Buffalo Bills won the Super Bowl, or attempted to, with Troy Aikman, I believe was for Dallas, and what ended up with going with Tony Altiola, Ufuk Tony the Tiger. You know, this time I said, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we went to the Buffalo side? Just take a little bit of money, go down there, have a little fun, drink, and watch the Super Bowl in some bar, some hotel, some place like that. And, you know, far from it be it, it was not the horror that I thought it would come to be. Now, when I added up the pieces, it's so horrifying. I don't want to believe it because it's depravity to our way of thinking, how we want our first aid. Even when I rationalize, when I talk about Ufuk, you know, growing up with this guy as just like your brother, sibling, or Arkadash, it horrifies me because you don't want to believe it. Now, he's not a dope fiend per se. I never saw that. More than I would say he was a Kumarja, or like to gamble, right? So we went up there, as I said, you know, the exchange rate, I bought it was like 1,000 Canadian with me. I said, how much can that go? Just to squander, who gives a hell, hoot and handy, right? If we're going to go up and party, right? In Buffalo side of that border, right? So then we went to this diner and everything else was all orchestrated, my friends. When I woke up and before I paid the bill and how much they took, over $500-600, my friends. Nothing's changed to say that, and whatever happened, we went to go to bed and woke up, and I realized I had the worst headache. I think he just did that, and what they did, and unbeknownst to me, but that was on the Buffalo side, even when I asked about how much Molson cost versus Budweiser, right? It's still an import duty, right? So the next thing I know, I'm going down, and now we're watching the game. I said I feel sick. I feel sick. Now I'm looking at my wallet. I have less than like $30. And maybe I don't know. Maybe I realize he took more than his share, my friend. So this time, and he's like, think it's fun, and what are we going to eat? And I go, don't worry, I'll help you. We'll go to this diner. You know, his brother Amit, he's a compulsive gambler, too. And what that really means, it's sad. It's sad. It's 30 years later. I was 24 years old, and they perpetrate this homicide upon me. This Tony Ufuk. And then what happened after? We're driving. We had the Walkman. I brought it by a case, and he wants to listen to the game while I'm going in dire straits. And I'm asking him, I go, there's a hospital there. He goes, why do you want to go to the hospital? And he laughs. I go, I feel ill. Please drive me to the hospital. He refused. And then we're driving back, and then he realizes he has my money. It starts snowing, and what was he going to do? He was going to leave that and leave me on the side of the road or something like that? Considering how much money he had, I couldn't bana ihtiyacını onu parasını çok nefret oldum kendimi. So right, but it's very complicated. And then we get to the border, and we're like a half-quarter tank, and I said, we're not going to get home. And he starts laughing like he's high or something, and we didn't smoke anything. Do you understand that? And at this time, he was hungry again, and he asked me, what am I going to feed him? Ay, bir şey bu insanlardan böyle hiç katiyenden bir şey anlamadım Allah'ım ya Rabbi. When I think about this, my Lord, and I said to myself in a higher plane, I said, you forgive them, and I have, and this is the litany they've done to this day, 30 years later, that the devil has ridden above the sky, and we see his litany of his lies. And we made it back, and he discouraged me, and he kind of said, how are you going to get home from that angle where I lived in Fitch and Albion? Do you understand? And I made it home by the good God of Allah'ım ya Rabbi, böyle dua okudum, olduğundan kaç kere daha yaptılar. Bu günler geldi arkadaşlarım. Hold steady and fast, friends.